think we need a little chat about Gareth Southgate. Um, it's so difficult to talk about it because people just bite at you. Whatever you say, people will bite. People will agree. People won't. But it's with Southgate. There's no down the middle. So I'm going to try and create that in this video. I'm going to try and create a little middle ground where we look at both sides and see. At the end, I'll give a little conclusion. I've got a few notes on my computer just above this phone. I just saw because I said a lot on my Snapchat. Most of you wouldn't have seen it, but on my Snapchat I've said a lot of things. That's where this channel originated from. I had a Snapchat story called 22 Mendable. I said a lot of stuff, so I've tried to just put that into one. I'm going to explain everything to you lot now. So yesterday's game, it wasn't good enough. It was very poor to watch. Now, where we did create a few chances, there wasn't enough. There was nowhere near enough. I think we had 2 shots on target to their 5 or something. Bear in mind, they only probably had about 7 shots to our like 13 or whatever, but it just wasn't good enough. And I'm pretty sure those 2 shots on target, I could be very wrong about this, but I believe they were both John Stones. Now, again, I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure they were both John Stones, though. My issue with the game yesterday, as much as the result is horrendous, there's parts I'd prefer to look at rather than the scoreline. My biggest issue with it is with Southgate's system, we're very slow, very progressive. I mean, very anti-progression is what I'd say, and we like to build from the back. The issue yesterday that I saw every time we had the ball in the defence, Felix would drop into the defence to try and get the ball, and then there's no movement ahead of him. Bellingham and Gallagher, they were just sticking to they're like a little pocket. They were sticking to it, but they were grouped. Like the Hungary had set lines, and they weren't coming out of that line to try and get the ball and then progress with it. When you have those players who are put in there to progress the ball up the pitch, and they're not moving to come and collect the ball at any point, it's very difficult. Our wing backs were also very wide. And our centre back's quite wide. You can't have everyone wide, and the focus on the wing play, it's not great. And I've said, yeah, focus on the wing play, better when we move the ball quicker. We had like 3 times. I think the one you'll remember is there was a nice interplay between Bellingham, Saka, and James on the left side, and they worked it nicely. And then James clipped one to the back post, and Bowen headed down. It kind of like hit. I don't know if it hit the player's arm or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, he probably should have done better there. He probably would have put us 1-0 up, well, or made it 1-1. I can't quite remember. Another issue with yesterday's game: the outswinging corners are too slow. You either put a outswinging corner at pace, so the defender just has to guide it. The power was already coming towards you, or you have an in-swinger where the defenders are going back towards their own goal, and it causes them issues. A slow outswinger, it doesn't work. And also the excuse of tiredness. I understand they're tired. So is every other nation, and you could say yes, we had 2 teams who got to the final or semi-final of the Champions League, so they played more games. That's Liverpool and that's Man City who played those extra games. Man City in yesterday's team, I think there was maybe 2 or maybe just 1 Stones and Walker, so there's 2. And Liverpool players in yesterday's team, I don't believe there was any. I could be wrong. I don't believe there's any. So for that excuse, I don't see it because every other nation have been in the same amount of games. Germany just battered Italy like 5-2 or something. I see France. You can say France players are tired. That's whatever. But our issue with the tiredness, I don't really see it too much. We're going to move on to the style of play as overall thing. I think it is boring to watch, and it's very defensive minded. And you'll see, I'm going to go on and talk about the Euros a bit later on, but there's just not many goals. We've never been under Southgate against the top teams, especially. We've never. I think the Nations League is kind of bringing out to the forefront. We've never been one to score loads of goals against teams, but we also don't concede many. And I think they're focusing on having a strong back and nicking a few. But if you can keep clean sheets and you can score 1, you've won the game. And I think that's where he kind of focuses his main area on, is the back. and it doesn't really work with the attacking players we have and the lack of quality in defence. I will say that, especially when he doesn't seem to want to play Tomori for some strange reason. He doesn't want. I know Tomori was injured as well, but he's had so many times where he's chosen players like Mings. Even though I love Mings, he's not England level really, is he? Even though took him out of the squad and we've now not scored, we've now not won a game in 4 or 5 games. So say what you want about Mings, he brings wins. But yeah, you got players like Cody and stuff who are in over Tomori. It doesn't make sense to me. Um, and with the attacking players we have, you want to just score more than you can, because with Maguire and people like that, you're going to concede. And I don't think Stones is world class either. I think he's just a good centre back. So yeah, I think we aren't good enough defensively at the minute to have to focus our play on defensive structure. You know what I mean? And also, we've got a really slow transition from defence to attack. We don't like the transition. When you think about the players we have in midfield, the transition isn't quick enough. You have your mounts and stuff. In my mind, say they have a corner, our transition needs to go from centre back to a ball carrying midfielder, and then that midfielder distributes. Okay, or you play it straight to a creative midfielder like a Grealish or a Mount, and you get it to either a winger to run onto, or you get it to Kane, and then the wingers have to go run onto Kane for like a flick on, or Kane can hold it up and then turn and play a ball. It's very simple in my eyes, and even if they're attacking, you've got to have the outballs, and we don't have the outballs because everyone comes back and defends, and you can't. That's why we're so slow to move up the field, and that's why we have so much possession with our centre backs, because there's no outballs, and you've got to have the outballs, and I think that's it. I think there's a lack of identity as well. I really don't. When I watch England play, I don't know how we are progressing. I always see there's just one way of playing, and I have put no clear style of play, because that one way of playing is confusing to watch. Like, you don't know the style of play just looks like you want possession, but then you're not moving up the pitch. So you're very happy to just hold possession, get one chance, take it. And that doesn't work at international level. It really doesn't, because the team cohesion will never be as good as clubs. So when you see like Man City having loads of possession against like an Atletico Madrid, and they scored one over the 2 legs, it was a 1-0 on aggregate, and that's because their team have played together every day, every week, and they know each other inside out. The poor performances recently, that's my next topic. We haven't scored a goal from overplaying any of the four Nations League games. That isn't good enough. With the creative players we have, that's not good enough, and it clearly shows you're not using them to their potential. I do think that injuries and stuff haven't helped his situation, but yeah, I just believe that the performances recently haven't been good enough. And you might be thinking, oh, what you said there would be a line down the middle and it hasn't come yet. We'll get on to it. What I do think, though, a lot of people are calling for his head. Who do you want in? Because I hear a lot of Potter coming around. Potter, for me, will not leave Brighton in the place they're at now. He's progressing them, and he's having a really good time until their owners stop sharing his ambition, which I think they're doing quite well at the minute. Until they stop sharing his ambition, he won't want to leave. And England's a very toxic job, and at the stage of his managerial career, I don't see him wanting it. And what I've put a note here, and I'll put it on my Snapchat as well. When you look at England compared to other countries, we don't have the managers. We don't have the quality. Maybe they're not getting the chances because they won't be going. They're not getting chances abroad like other managers are, because the Premier League is the best league and they're wanting to get to that level. But you see our best managers are Potter, Howe, Smith, Lampard, Gerrard. None of these managers have achieved anything. Like, you look at Germany, Hansi Flick won the league with Bayern, won the Champions League with Bayern, stuff like that. Like Ancelotti, who's not the Italian manager. They have Mancini, who's won the Premier League. He's won Serie A, I believe. I could be wrong, but he's won trophies elsewhere. Deschamps, I'm not too sure about his managerial experience prior to France. I can't really say much on him, but he's been there for a while and he's won a World Cup and stuff like that. Southgate's had 2 tournaments and he's done well in them. And I'll get on to them. Don't worry, I'm getting on to them, the Southgate fans. And we just don't have the same level. They're not getting the opportunities because clubs at the top are looking for managers elsewhere. Like Man United could have easily gone for a Potter or someone like that, and they went for Ten Hag because he's a bigger name and he's been given the opportunity at Ajax. And you look at Netherlands as well, Van Gaal. Look at Spain, they've got Enrique, who was at Barcelona before. It's so obvious that we need to give these managers chances, whether that's with England or whether that's in England, or maybe they need to look elsewhere for bigger jobs. Like say the Inter job becomes available, someone like a Potter or someone like that could apply to that, but they don't have the pedigree that the other managers do, because people like Lampard or Gerrard, then they've got names, so they can get jobs like that. Even if their managerial style or whatever isn't as good, they could get jobs like that. I think Steve Cooper's a great example of someone who should be working at a higher level than when he got Forest, and that was a bottom of the table club in the Championship when he joined. He should be so much higher based on what he did at Swansea and what he did with the under-21s at England and stuff. However, I will go on to his interview now because I haven't got that much recording time left on my phone. So I was impressed with his interview after the game. He took responsibility. I really respect that. I think everything he said was great, except for the tired excuse again, but I've spoken about that now. I do think the injuries have hampered him, and I do think the lack of a left back for the past few months now has really been an issue. I don't think Shaw's quite as good as most other countries' left backs, although he did have a good Euros, I will say that. But I think for Man United, look at that, he's been awful. I say awful, he's not been great, really. Chilwell, obviously, I think he should start. I've said that in my other video when I was doing England's 23. I'd take the World Cup at that time. But again, Chilwell, he's got this injury. Will he be good enough and fit enough? Will he be match fit when we get to the World Cup? We'd hope so. So we'll see. Team cohesion, I think he's got that to a... He's done it brilliantly. And I think he got the nation back on side of the national team as well when it was a bit split. No one really cared about the national team because we weren't doing well under Capello, under Hodgson, under Ericsson and stuff like that in the past. Now I'm going to go on to my conclusion, my opinion on the matter. I think he deserves to be kept until the World Cup and have that chance and see, because he's kind of got that on merit now because of what he's done at the World Cup and the Euros. He's got us to a semi-final and a final. You could say we're better than Italy in the squad. I just think that Italy showed more dominance in the Euros, whereas we were winning games so slightly. And I think we scraped it there. The World Cup, we had an easy route. You could say that, but you can only beat what's in front of you. And he did that until Croatia, who I think we got outplayed that game. And I think if you look on the basis of that squad, our squad at that World Cup wasn't amazing. I think our squad now is better than what we had at that World Cup. The expectation of this World Cup, for me, is quarterfinals. I think that should be the expectation for anyone. Quarterfinals and above, because your Brazils and Argentina's coming in really strong. Germany are coming in quite strong to this World Cup. Spain coming in stronger. I think they're still a bit early with the squad they have. France, they're coming in quite weak off the basis of this past year's performances. But yeah, I think in the Euros, we didn't score enough, but we didn't concede. And you can look at that both ways. To win a tournament, you have to just win the games. And if that's what's going to happen and that's going to win you the games, I'm all for it, to be honest. It's just outside the tournament, it's not fun to watch. And, when a national side comes on, it's the only football you've got, and you can't look forward to club football coming back in the summer. Those 4 games had to be more entertaining, and they weren't. I also think the toxic atmosphere needs to be cut out completely. I understand the frustration, but it's just like, especially in the stadium, saying that he's not good enough or whatever. I think that's poor, even though the game we did lose 4-0. But if you're going to be like that, just leave. You know what I mean? Just leave. If you're not going to clap the players off at the end, just leave. And yeah, I understand it. I wouldn't be saying that for me. It's like when Dean Smith at Villa, when that was going badly, I never called for his name. I said that I maybe think it's time to part ways, but I never was like Dean Smith out, Dean Smith out. And I won't be Southgate out either, even though I've said on my Snapchat, people who've watching this and see my Snapchat, I have said I think it's time to go for Southgate, but I also think that on merit he deserves the World Cup, and we'll see what happens. I don't see us getting past the round 16. Whereas in the Euros, I was quite confident. I'm not confident. I haven't been since the end of the Euros, really. And I think we'll face an Argentina or someone and we'll lose. And I think that is about it for this video, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not Southgate out, but I am very close, I'll be honest. And I'll never call for a manager's head, but I will be honest. I don't think it's working. I don't think his tactics work for the squad we've got and the creative players we've got, and we won't get the most out of those creative players unless he does leave, unless he changes his style of play, which I don't see. Not many managers do, let's be honest. But I always think that an English, whatever the nationality is, I think is kind of a bit Brexit, but I think you should always have a manager from the nationality of the team, of the national team that you've got. It's like Martinez at Belgium doesn't really work for me. I'm trying to think of other ones. I don't really know. Rossi at Hungary doesn't really work for me, but it is what it is. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Let me know in the description, in the comments, what you think about the situation. Are you Southgate in? Are you Southgate out? Are you in the middle? What do you think will happen with him, and how do you think we'll do in the World Cup? Let me know. There'll be more videos coming up soon. This is the 25th video, and we've hit 14,000 views across the channel, so it's great. Keep it up. Keep up the support, and thank you for the support so far. Yeah, I'll see you very shortly for another video. There's a big video coming out soon. Just keep your eyes out for that. I'll see you in a bit. Have a good time. Bye-bye. Dear the United States of America.